Welcome to our Cooper Alumni Spotlight. Today we're with William Staebel, class of 2019. It is so good to see you. We are thrilled that you're back here on campus. So what have you been up to since your graduation in 2019?
Well, after I graduated from Cooper, I traveled up north to Pittsburgh and studied at Carnegie Mellon University. While there, I studied chemical engineering and also pursued a minor in business administration. While there, I also swam collegiately for 2 years. For their D3 swimming and diving team. And I learned a lot of valuable life lessons there in terms of the engineering field.
I would imagine. I'm excited to talk to you about those. It's amazing to hear, and not surprising though, that you took what you did here at Cooper and applied it at Carnegie Mellon, because here at Cooper, you were a scholar, a tremendous student in our science and math program. You won the Tina Davies Award in science, but you also were a great citizen. You won our Citizenship Award and the Joe Broccoli 4Cs Award, all the while helping our SPC swim team win the championship in 2019 and you currently hold 5 records. So my goodness, how did you do it all?
Well, I really optimized my time, and that's something I've really focused on,
Tell me a little bit about your time here at Cooper, because we have so many offerings and you took advantage of so many different academic pursuits here. What was a real transformational experience for you here at Cooper in your learning?
Well, at Cooper, it's very holistic. As I was going through and prepping for this interview, admittedly, I was having trouble picking out just one class. I was having more and more examples crop up of things that I wanted to mention. There's things in the English department that were critical to my success in engineering at Carnegie Mellon. The presentation skills and this public speaking that you get from those English classes and from the fine arts department, absolutely critical, even as much so as the science and math classes I had in the Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. So while you're at Carnegie Mellon, how are you employing these effective presentation skills?
Well, one of the most important things I learned while here at Cooper was being able to identify and really address your audience, right? With technical engineering, you're really presenting to a lot of different audiences, right? You have shareholders that care about the money side of things, you have professors that care more about the hard science, and then you have other students in other majors that might not know the technical side of things as well. And being able to speak directly to those people and be able to address their concerns was something I really learned here.
So you had such a wonderful experience here, applying what you learned and at Carnegie Mellon, and you now have a new job coming up. Tell us a little bit about the work that you're going to be joining.
So I'll be working for PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, in their strategy and division, which is more focused on strategic development for companies and consulting. So I'll be working in the operations transformation sector, more specifically going in for different companies and sort of looking at their supply chains and more specifically going in and looking at the overall bottom line for these companies.
So you are accomplished swimmer. Are you still swimming or recreationally?
I am not, unfortunately. No, I've been pursuing other interests such as rock climbing, volleyball, very Renaissance man sort of now.
Well, that's the way you certainly were here at Cooper, always involved, a tremendous community citizen and a scholar, and you're right. Tell us a little bit about maybe advice that you would give to our current students in thinking about your journey and their journey right now.
Absolutely. I have 3 pieces of advice that I really want to share with students. The first is Miley's Rule of 3. Any past alumni may be familiar with Miley's Rule of 3, but as I was going through college and as I go through life, one of the important lessons I learned at Cooper was any project you undertake is going to take 3 times longer than you think going in. And that has absolutely held true. Throughout my labs and throughout my different coursework and capstones, I've learned, okay, this is a lot more than you think. You try to break it down, but it sort of branches out. The second piece of advice I have is to make sure you find a really great study group and group of peers that you connect with. This will really help your academic learning and make sure you become a well-rounded team member. That carries through not only to labs, but carries out into the work and different internships you may undertake. And lastly, I recommend getting to know your teachers and your professors really well. They want to help you succeed, and they really care and want you to be passionate about the things they're passionate about.
So as the Tina Davies Award winner for science, you spent a lot of time in the Rock Math and Science Center. What did you glean from your experiences there, and how did that help you at college?
Well, one of the most important things I learned while working in the Rock Math and Science Center was how to experiment and perform labs safely and effectively. You know, as I came into college, a lot of the students there hadn't had the experiences I had had. I was able to write and perform experiments pretty independently early on in my college career. And that's not something I could say lots of other students had the ability to do.
So it sounded like you really leaned into the STEM field here. Did you always know that was an interest of yours? Is something, a direction that you wanted to go into?
I always kind of had the feeling that I was going to enter STEM, but you know, I didn't really push myself in that direction too much until I entered upper school. As I entered the upper school, you know, achieving that Tina Davies Award, I didn't quite even realize I was, you know, in the position to receive that until I was halfway through senior year, and I was like, I've taken every science course that I could take right now. I have 5 classes in the Rock, and you know, I'm only going to the upper school building to get my books for the Rock. You know,
That's right. But that was perfect preparation then for Carnegie Mellon and the engineering program there.
Absolutely, yes. What much of the things I learned and prepared me, even in the math classes, were very instrumental for the science courses I had. For example, some of the proof work that I learned in my freshman year at Cooper really prepared me for some of the hard electricity and magnetism courses I had to take, and sort of deriving proofs to show unique, weird, abstract principles and equations.
Well, that's fantastic. You got to work with our college counseling team. Tell us a little bit about your process in working with our college counseling team.
I was really fortunate to have a really great experience with the college counseling here. I went through several drafts being an engineer, and I was fortunate to have a team that would look at every single draft I gave them. Every single week I came in with a new manila folder full of 5 different essay drafts, and they would look them over and give me updates, and I would go back and update them over the weekend and get it back the next week.
So you really took advantage of the process, the personalized process that we have here at Cooper. And as your engineer brain created rubrics and all sorts of metrics for college, did you find Carnegie Mellon early or later in the process?
I found it relatively early, I want to say. I had the ability to very quickly discern that Carnegie Mellon was a good fit for me. Knowing that there aren't many schools that I could have swam at that had the academic rigor I was looking for. The academics always came first to me, but swimming was a passion I wanted to pursue, and Carnegie Mellon was the optimal fit for me. And so, being so, I pursued it very heavily.
And you had great success there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Your mother is a teacher here at Cooper.
Yes, she is.
So Cooper is certainly part of your family, and we are fortunate that you and your family are part of the John Cooper School community. It's been great talking with you, and we wish you all the best in your new job.
Thank you so much. Yeah.